What is going on, guys? Welcome back to Copy Narrates, and apologies about posting this week. I have been a bit under the weather and been in pain. I haven't really been able to make any videos or really record anything. I've been resting and relaxing and just getting better, and I'm fine now. I'm on the road to recovery, and we're gonna start making some videos. And let's get into it with today's story, shall we, from r/relationships. And today's first story comes from Cultural Role. Help. My close friend, 26 female, whom I, 25 male, have feelings for, suddenly invited me out to an event Friday and wants to grab dinner beforehand. Should I tell her after the event about my feelings? I have no clue what to do. The situation at hand. This threw me for a loop because I was literally planning on telling her today, as we were supposed to chat over the phone, as it's been a while. I made up my mind and everything. I was going to ask her out on a date. Then she does this. It's a networking event at a fancy restaurant late at night, and they're serving drinks and snacks, and she asked me to come. She also asked if we could go for a dinner prior to the event, which I obviously said yes. The relationship. We've known each other for over a year and have gotten much closer this year, as we've had late night chats, phone calls, have so much in common, and send each other endless memes, videos, whatever. She's had issues with her ex, and I know she's completely single right now. My feelings for her surfaced after a very late night conversation a few months ago. I thought maybe the feelings were just situational, so then we went out for a school dinner, and it was impossible to stay focused with her right beside me. We spent the entire night together, as we only really knew each other. Dropped her home, where we spent 2 hours sitting in the car, just chilling. Feelings were insane that night. Then I thought maybe if I lose a bit of contact with her, the feelings would die down. No sir. So after months of deliberation, I finally made up my mind to ask her out over the phone, literally yesterday, and she hits me with this. What do I do? Do I ask her out after? Tell her I find her attractive? Or would like to pursue something? We are literally spending over 7 hours together alone, so this is probably a sign from the good Lord himself telling me to make a move, for crying out loud. TLDR, friend whom I have feelings for, that I was about to ask out, suddenly asked me out to an event and dinner tomorrow. What the hell do I do about my situation? Do I tell her? And my thoughts reading through this post, OP, was that you should tell her at the end of the night if everything goes well and you have a good time and the mood feels right. Just tell her how you feel. You know, say, I don't know, something like, thank you for inviting me to this. I've had a really wonderful time with you. I'd like to do this again. Could I take you out officially? And just ask her and see what she says. You know, tell her that you like her and, you know, you've liked her for a while now and you've been meaning to ask her out. And yeah, but let's jump into the comments to see what some commenters say. Unusual Shopping 1099 says, I would recommend waiting until the end of the night. Let the night play out naturally, however it's going to go. Don't overthink it and ruin the mood. Don't try and turn it into something it might not be. When the time feels right and the evening is pretty much done, ask her something like, so could I ask you if there was a reason you invited me tonight over anyone else? Maybe she will confess to liking you as well. If she doesn't seem to imply that it was supposed to be a date, flip the script and go with something like, well, I did have a really wonderful time with you tonight, and I was wondering if it could be my turn to ask you out to dinner. No special occasion, besides I would just like to spend time with you like this again. And yeah, that's how I would approach it. Just be honest and natural, and at the end of the evening, if everything goes well, just, you know, say to her, hey, I'd like to take you out on a proper date if you would like that. But anyways, moving on. This next story comes from yet another anon poster. I, 31 male, am getting mixed signals from my girlfriend, 29 female, who is upset I won't be proposing on our upcoming trip. My girlfriend, 29 female, and I, 31 male, are going on an international trip together in a week. In the past couple of months, we have talked about moving somewhere together after she finishes her degree. And more recently, we have had discussions about marriage and starting a family. We're both divorced with no kids. Despite this, I do not have plans to propose during our trip. For a timeline of our relationship, we met in early 2018, started dating in early 2019, broke up early 2022, and got back together late 2022. We've been living together for the past 7 months. I am madly in love with this woman, and she makes me happier than I've ever felt. I want to spend the rest of my life with her. However, I get mixed messages from her about how she feels about marriage. At the beginning of our relationship, she told me that she would never get married again due to her experience with her ex-husband. It would be nice to call her my wife, but ultimately what I care about is having a life partner. So her view didn't bother me. Although she has started talking about marriage lately, but she said things like, marriage is a trap, as recently as last week. Perhaps more pressingly, she will sometimes say things that feel like she's questioning our relationship. More salient at the moment, a couple of days ago in the midst of an argument she said, amongst other things, that our couple's moments of happiness don't outweigh the negatives of our relationship. This is not the first time she's expressed negative sentiments about our relationship. This was the strongest since we got back together. The next day we talked about the cause of the fight, but we did not discuss these things that she said. Logically, I think that she doesn't really mean it when she says those things in the heat of the moment, but it still seems like a line is crossed by bringing the entire relationship into question during a fight. It's especially hurtful because I felt blindsided by her leaving abruptly during a breakup last year. Tonight she indirectly asked me if I was planning on proposing during our trip. I felt awful, but I told her no, I didn't plan to propose during the trip. As expected, that answer made her extremely upset. In the ensuing conversation, I said that it wasn't clear to me about why she wanted to get married, which isn't accurate, but it was how I stupidly worded it in the heat of the moment. I later tried to correct it too. I don't know why you want to get married, because I feel like I get mixed messages from you. This led to a large fight and we went to bed with it unresolved. She feels sad and embarrassed that I am not ready to propose. I feel a combination of sad and anxious that is keeping me from sleep. Again, logically, the events from tonight indicate she wants to get married, but emotionally, I feel insecure about some of the things she says. Maybe I'm crazy for feeling this way. I'm not really sure why I'm posting this. I just don't know what to do. I guess I would like some advice on how to handle this situation. On both an introspective level, how can I handle my own feelings in a productive way, as well as a relationship level, how can I comfort my girlfriend? TLDR, getting mixed signals from my girlfriend, who's upset I'm not proposing, not sure what to do or say to help the situation. Now, this one for me, it just felt like, OP, like, you're considering proposing to her, but you only broke up, like, last year, got back together at the end of the year, and then moved in together, but you're still having arguments, and it feels like all the issues prior to this are still unresolved in some way, and that needs dealing with. It also seems like your girlfriend, with this whole marriage situation and the things she says about marriage and acts towards the discussion of it, like she's holding some emotional baggage from the last situation with her husband, with her ex-husband, right? She's got problems with the ex still that she needs to resolve and discuss because that's bleeding through into your relationship. At least that's what I'm getting from this post. But you guys have a lot of red flags in there. You know, you only recently just got back together after breaking up for nearly a year. You've been living together for the last 7 months. You've been arguing a lot more. It doesn't seem like the right time to be proposing. It seems like you guys should go to couples counselling to learn how to communicate and work on things. And I think that your girlfriend needs to go to individual therapy to discuss her last marriage, because it seems like the whole idea and concept of marriage, you know, when she's saying things like marriage is a trap and she told you at the beginning of the relationship she doesn't want to get married, it seems a bit weird for her to get upset about you not proposing when she's giving you signals that she doesn't want to get married. That even just last week she was saying that marriage is a trap. So if I was hearing that, I wouldn't want to propose to someone because I'd feel like I was pressuring them into something that they don't want to do. So yeah, let's get into the comment section though. Dangerous Fun 6896 says, do not propose until you can sit down and talk about what you and your girlfriend really think and want in terms of marriage. She may be upset about the non-proposal because she's fantasizing about being proposed to in an international setting. She may be in love with the idea of a proposal, but not marriage. And I think this comment hits it on the head here. Like, the idea of a proposal sounds wonderful, but it just doesn't seem from the things that your girlfriend says like she wants to be married again. And the only thing I can think that's holding her back is her previous marriage. Another commenter says, When you guys got back together, did the issues that initially caused your breakup feel truly addressed? Her behaviour seems very inconsistent, which can mean she's not choosing actions that are in line with her true feelings. If she got back together with you when she didn't truly feel it was right, that could be the cause. Other large or repeated small instances could cause this disconnect as well. And yeah, guys, let me know what you guys think about this one down below, because it feels to me like OP's girlfriend just hasn't moved on from that last marriage. And it also seems like they're not in a really good place to get married anyway, with the whole just breaking up but moving in together straight away when they get back together and arguing all the time thing. Moving on. Next story comes from Aristocrats. How do I, 31 female, deal with a neighbour, 38 female, who takes out belongings and denies it? I, 31 female, have a neighbour, 38 female, who's taken 3 of my items. 1 belonged to my child, 9 months. And when she invited me to her house, I said, that is blank's blanket. It was a gift from our midwife. And she said, oh no, I think one of my friends gave me that. I have a photo of the baby blanket that she took. Later I noticed one of our house plants that she had moved to her balcony. Part of me thinks best to let it go and keep the peace. Another part thinks I want to go over and take the item back, because I don't know how to go about confronting her again. Today I went to our shared shower space and noticed another one of my items missing, and she's the only one who could have taken it. What is the most mature way to handle this situation? TLDR, neighbour is taking our belongings, and I don't know how to confront her or get the items back. And wow, Obi, sounds like you have one horrible neighbour. I don't know whether they're entitled or whether they're just a butthole, but wow. It sounds like you're renting somewhere, like this is rented apartments. So if it's rented, I would talk to your landlord about it. If that fails, you could also look at filing a police report. And because she is stealing your stuff, she's legitimately stealing things from you. So you have a case to, have it done for theft. Because that's essentially what she's doing, taking your things. I mean, she took your baby's blanket? What? I don't even want to know how that happened. But this does not seem like the person that you can have a face-to-face conversation with, because you tried that and she just straight up just lied to you. And people like that who just straight up lie to your face, they know they're lying to you. They know that what they did, but they're straight up lying to you. So she's not going to admit it without some pressure from an outside party like the landlord saying, nope, this is not cool, taking other residents' property, or please, being involved and getting the items back for you. I mean, if you have pictures to prove that they're yours, right? Because you say you have pictures of the blanket with your baby, like, those pictures prove it's your property, and yeah. But let's jump into the comments, shall we? Aggressive Sky 8492 says, as someone else said, cameras, and just remove what you can so she literally can't take it. Like for your shower stuff, maybe get a toiletry bag, you keep all of that in, that lives in your room, and you can just take it to the shower when you shower. Get locks for your door, your section of the house. Take items from your porch if she steals from there. And another commenter says, with a quote from OP, part of me thinks best to let it go and keep the peace. Keep the peace means being a doormat. No, don't let people take advantage of you. You're letting her get away with stealing your belongings. Tell her firmly to stay off your side of the property. Never let her into your home. And like Lady Grey Owl says, put up some cameras. Why do you share a shower? And I agree, if possible, OP should put up cameras, but that all depends on laws and stuff. But depending on where OP lives, they might not be able to put up cameras. But they should definitely keep their belongings out of the shared area if this is going on. But it does sound like this is a rented property, so as I said before, landlord. But guys, let me know what you think down below about this one. Obi's neighbour seems awful, especially stealing the baby's blanket. Like, how cruel of a person do you have to be to steal a baby's blanket? For what? It doesn't even sound like the other woman has a baby. She just stole a baby's blanket. Moving on. Our next story comes from FroRA639. Partner 23 female feels like she's constantly being judged by me, 23 male, and I don't know what to do. Coming up at a year, or living with my partner, 1.7 years together, it's come to a point where she feels like I'm constantly critical of her, and I don't know what to do. For example, we moved in together in an expensive area, and I was paying for everything. Rent, food, car, etc. for months. September 2022 to March 2023. She would wake up late, 11 a.m, 12 p.m, and apply to jobs an hour a day at best. Eventually I started getting on her case about having to be more organised with how she treats applying to jobs, being more consistent with a sleep schedule, exercise, etc. It ended up feeling bad on both ends. For me, I'd have to nag, wake them up and make them apply to jobs, and for them they'd have to be nagged. Recently, May, she got hired for a job that doesn't start for a few months, and most days she just sleeps in until I wake her up, or around 11 a.m. This is frustrating because even on days where we plan to go to the gym together, I'm left feeling like her parent, waking her up at 10:40 so we can go at 11 a.m. during my tight work schedule. Most days after waking up, she just sits on the couch and phone. This week I calmly brought up how it feels like she isn't living her life and isn't doing anything she finds meaningful to herself by spending all her time sleeping, watching TV, and being on her phone. She now feels like I'm super judgmental of her and think everything she does is wrong. I understand relaxing for some of the day when you spent all your free time on the couch and don't do anything else for weeks. It's concerning. I don't know what to do. Is this a matter of me being too judgmental? Incompatibility? More patience needed on both ends? Maturing because we're still young? I'm so lost. So would appreciate any insights or advice. I feel really bad that my partner feels like they're on eggshells, but I'm also concerned that when I sit back and don't say anything, they just don't do anything productive for themselves. Am I too critical of my partner, or are they unmotivated? So we're going to hop straight into the comments on this one. And this one comes from Individual Fox-like. The easiest solution is don't wake her up. She's a grown person and she can set an alarm. If she's not up in time, you go alone. It's definitely not normal for people to veg out for weeks on end. Does she have any hobbies, friends? How often would she leave the house if you left her to her own devices? My instinct is that she's got something else going on here that she either isn't aware of or hasn't been honest about. This behaviour is textbook depression. Has she been assessed for it by a doctor? Depression isn't just being sad. Oftentimes it looks exactly like this, just existing, letting the world pass you by, sleeping and vegetating, and not getting enjoyment out of anything. I'd honestly start there and ask if she's willing to see a doctor. If she's not, and this is truly how she wants to live her life, then you two have just grown incompatible. And OP replies to this with, she has a few hobbies and friends she occasionally sees. She would leave the house if I wasn't there. My problem is rather than doing her hobbies, she spends most of her time on the couch. It's like if you die in 50 years and all you got to say was, you watch Netflix and TikTok, it doesn't seem meaningful. If you spend 10 hours a day crocheting or bird watching, anything that isn't just media consumption, that just feels a lot more meaningful. Why? Why does watching birds feel more meaningful? Another commenter says. And then OP replies to that with, TV and couch seem brain dead and like they drain your soul when done for hours on end. Bird watching seems to connect you to the world and bring something to your life. And another commenter replies to OP with, bruh, I feel judged by you because I didn't apply for jobs for hours early in the morning. What difference does it do if you apply at 8 a.m. or 8 p.m? Absolutely none. I'm a night owl myself until it's absolutely needed that I get up early. Also, job hunting can wear you out. There's always so many sites you can check a day, and most of the time it's just depressing scrolling through the same ads as the day before because only a few new ones popped up. If she doesn't have a job right now, how do you suggest she would pay for other activities? She probably feels guilty already leeching off from you. She probably won't ask for ski equipment or a certification if that are activities that she wants to try out. Eventually, lol. Stop acting like a concerned parent, and she might stop acting like a moping child. If you can't or do not want to live like this, that's a conversation you have to have with yourself, but you shouldn't expect your partner to change anytime soon. And I fully agree with this comment here. Like, OP's so judgmental in the way he speaks about like how she spends her time. Like, what? So she watches Netflix. I watch Netflix. I think everyone probably listening to this at some point watches Netflix. I just finished watching Heartland on Netflix because I wanted to watch new seasons. Like, So what if I want to binge Heartland? And they're also right about, like, the money thing. Like, she doesn't have a job, so she's not going to be going out doing loads of expensive activities. And OP even admitted in one of their replies, like, that she does go out and that she does see her friends. And of course it's occasionally, because she can't afford to spend money all the time. I'm sure if she could, she would be out more and doing other things as well, or seeing her friends more. And another thing this commenter hits on is the fact that she's been searching for a job since September last year, right? And she didn't find one till May. That's like 9 months. Every single day waking up, an hour a day applying to jobs. Every single day for 9 months. And then this comment is actually from me. So I did some maths on this because I wanted to figure out what this was. So I was like, what's double? It's like, what does OP expect? 30 minutes finding jobs, 5 minutes applying to each. Same name, same date of birth, same social security number, same pre-prepared CV. His girlfriend is easily applying to 3 to 6 jobs a day, 7 days a week for 9 months. Let's average that to 28 days a month, and she has applied on average to between 756 to 1,512 jobs in these 9 months. I'd be burned out and stressed and unmotivated if for 9 months I looked for work and at a minimum 755 employers rejected me. And that's like kind of the state of like the jobs market, right? Like, it's harder for younger people to find meaningful work that pays well, like work that you can do long term as a career. Like, it's all fine and good going, oh, we'll just work at McDonald's. Also, I just recently saw a news article about McDonald's, about how awful the work conditions are in the UK. Like, really, really bad. Like, so bad that you can't really talk about it on YouTube. That's how bad it is for people working at McDonald's in the UK. So I actually would even say, like, you should work in a fast food place if the kind of stuff that's been going on in there is happening. And she's finally got a job as well. She's finally got a job that starts in a few months. And it sounds like it's a career job if it's something that's got a start date and it's contracted, right? So this could be good for her. And OP's still ragging on his poor girlfriend. And honestly, if he's speaking to her like he came off in the comments, I would be on eggshells too if my partner was telling me, oh, you're brain dead. Oh, your life's so meaningless. Like, what are you doing just sitting on the couch? Oh, look at you. Like, in quite all honesty, I hope your girlfriend finds this post, sees what you've said about her, and just dumps you and moves on, because honestly, her life would be more meaningful without you at this point. But anyways, guys, let me know what you think about this one. Like, I feel like OP is so overcritical of his girlfriend, who's obviously been out of the job market. That's really stressful. Has been applying to jobs every single day. And then he complains that she doesn't want to exercise in the morning. So what if she doesn't want to exercise in the morning? Not everyone wants to go for a run as soon as they wake up. Some people like to exercise in the evening, like after work, or when it's later, because it's more relaxing and they feel like they're more prepared for it, rather than doing it first thing where it's like a rush, you know? And if you act the same way about the gym as you do about home life, I can see why she doesn't want to go to the gym with you, really, because I would feel judged, and you are kind of judgy by pushing her to exercise with you when you want, the way you want. But yeah, guys, let me know what you think down below. Moving on. Our next story comes from prestigious Airline 37. I, female 20, don't like how my boyfriend, male 20, doesn't take care of himself. TLDR, I don't like how my boyfriend doesn't take care of himself. He doesn't get haircuts, doesn't shave his beard, doesn't buy clothes, lately smells like sweat, and also jokes about it. My boyfriend and I have been dating since 2018. We drifted apart for a while, but then we got back together last year. We're great together, we basically have the same values, and we understand each other really well. What I don't like about our relationship is that he has poor self-care. He gets a haircut like once or twice a year. He has curly hair, so after a while it starts looking like a mess. He doesn't shave his beard, and he doesn't have a full beard. It's really patchy. He doesn't buy any clothes. He always wears the same 2 shirts and 2 pants. Before we meet, I know exactly what he's gonna wear, because it's the same shirts every time. I hope he washes them, at least. He's overweight, so maybe he's waiting to lose weight before buying clothes. But every time he starts a diet, he stops doing it. Why doesn't he just buy clothes that fit him right now? He says he gets bored shopping. Also, he says he always takes showers, but lately smells like sweat. And he said that the deodorant he's using isn't really good. Then change it. Don't go around smelling like that. A few weeks ago, he smelled so bad I generally couldn't be around him. He noticed and asked me why I was so distant, and I couldn't answer because I couldn't hurt his feelings like that. I'm not a shallow person. Don't think I only care about looks and appearance because I don't. That's the point. This isn't about looks. It's about hygiene and self-care. I'm attracted to someone that shows interest into making themselves look presentable and smell good. I think I'm allowed to have my own preferences. At first I didn't say anything. Maybe because I don't want to comment on other people's hygiene and lifestyles. You never know the reason behind it. I tried to understand if he was struggling mentally. I asked him if he was okay. But I think the problem is that he doesn't think it's necessary to care about his looks that much. I remember him admitting once that he started to lose weight only when we got together because he wanted to be handsome for me. But the moment he got comfortable, he didn't care anymore. And I think that this also applies to self-care. But that's the point. I don't want him to take care of himself just for me. Why can't he do it for himself? He also jokes around about this, saying that he studies physics and every physicist in history has pure self-care. What should I do? On the one hand, I could tell him very gently to take more care of himself, but I have already done this indirectly when he complains about his looks, clothes, hair. I tell him that he looks better with short hair, and that he looks good when he shaves a beard, that he would look great with a new t-shirt. But on the other hand, I wonder, he's an adult, why should I tell him these things? I'm not his mom, and I never felt like it before now, so I should start now for something so essential and basic. I really feel bad writing these things, and I also feel bad when he meets with my family or friends, because I feel so embarrassed that he always looks so shabby. I'm just so annoyed to hear every time that it's boring get a haircut, boring to buy clothes, it's boring to shave a beard. When he says those things, I never get mad at him for it, but I definitely look annoyed and he laughs at me. He thinks it's funny, just like the physicist joke. Well, it's not to me. And OP, I get where you're coming from on this one. Like, the smell thing, like not showering and not using proper deodorant and stuff, that's not cool. That needs dealing with, right? Like, he should be taking care of that. That's just something that he should be taking care of. But the whole complain about the patchy beard thing, the only way to cure that is to grow a beard and not constantly shave it all the time. So that's probably why he's not shaving his beard, because he's trying to actually get it to grow out properly, which can take a long time. And as for the buying new clothes thing, I can understand why he says it's boring. Not everyone enjoys shopping. Not everyone thinks, that you should get clothes every single week. Not everyone's into fast fashion, right? It sounds like, OP, that's what you're into, fast fashion. Going out, buying stuff and buying stuff and buying stuff to look presentable all the time. And that's just not healthy for many, many reasons. But I'm not going to get into that. I mean, I have clothes that I've had for years that are perfectly fine. They're in good condition. They're presentable. And so long as his clothes aren't like ripped to pieces and like a complete mess with stains on that are never going to come out, he doesn't need to wear the newest clothes. And I think that's where you're going a little bit too far with this, is like pushing the whole clothes things on him. Like, if his clothes are presentable and they're not ripped and they haven't got like massive stains on them, then I'm not seeing the issue. As for the haircut thing, that's up to him, OP. You can't change that. If he wants his hair long, that's his thing to have, right? He wants his hair long. But the body odor thing, that's completely not cool. And if I was you, I would definitely be bringing that up in a serious conversation. And you need to stop dancing around the issue. Because it seems like from this post, you keep saying that you are telling him these things, but indirectly. But you're dodging the issue. That's what you do. You're not really confronting it. You need to have a sit-down conversation with him and say, look, this body odor thing, this isn't cool. I need you to take care of this because this isn't okay. And that's got nothing to do with you being his mum. Sometimes people aren't aware of how bad a problem's getting until someone tells them. That's not them being a child, as you imply in this post. That's just simply that when you live with something, you become used to it and don't recognise of how much of a problem it is until someone who you trust and care about sits down and has a conversation with you about just how bad this situation's got. And then you can reflect upon it and realise, wow, this actually has become more of a problem than I thought it has, and I need to tackle it. So that's what I think you need to do, OP, is have that sit-down conversation so he can better understand just how bad that body odor issue is getting for you and how it's affecting his life. so he can take more positive steps with, more showering, better deodorant. He might need to go see a doctor because it could be a medical issue. Sometimes medical issues can change the way his sweat smells and make it worse. So he could have a medical problem that he should see a doctor about. But I think that's the best course of action. Anyways, guys, let me know what you think about this story down below. Thanks for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.